Hello, welcome to Power Bricks again, and today we have the Dragon's Forge from LEGO Ninjago, the Hands of Time series. And this wave is probably one of my favorite waves, because I personally like the whole concept of time and time travel and all that. And it looks like we've got a new type of serpentine, which is sort of cool. Like they're able to, they have the red ones and the orange ones, and they're able to weave together to create these soldiers or these giant things, or like mechs or something. But they're only able to do it if they have the armor to accompany with. So I think that's really cool. And this, spoiler alert, but this series does introduce Rey and Maya, and like Kai and Nia's parents, and it goes a little bit into their backstory. So let's get into the build. Or no, wait. So let's get into the minifigs. So we get 6 minifigs in the set, and I think they're all really cool. So first let's start off with the ninja. So here we have the brother and sister team Kai and Nia, which are the ninjas in this set, and this is pretty much what the whole season is based on. It's based on Kai and Nia and like their elemental powers, like being able to cooperate with each other and all that, like fire and water. And so I really like these ninjas. Like when they first started using these masks, I just instantly loved them. I don't know, it just, they look amazing, and I hope they keep using them because they just fit so well with all of these costumes. So with Kai, we have a maroon, like a dark red, along with a brighter red, and he has a darker red throughout the entire costume, except for his shoulder pads and his arms, which are both black, which I sort of like about this. And he's got one sword and some back printing. You can't really see it with the swords. But he also has this really cool face expression, which I personally really like better than the original one. He's sort of smirking, and then this one I love this expression. He's I guess he's got his elemental powers kicking in or something, like he's all fired up. Get it? So, and it looks really good with the helmet on. See, it's like, looks like the Ninjago thing where it goes episode blah whoosh, or something, you know. Yeah, but I mean, I saw the episodes, but I didn't have Hands of Time. But no spoilers, but I didn't see him with those eyes. So I'm not complaining. I'm fine with it in the set. It's just a little confusing. And I'm not exactly sure who's supposed to hold this time blade, but I just put on Kai because I saw him with it in some of the pictures, so I was like, I don't know who holds it. So this is like I think it's the reverse time blade, and this is a really cool piece because the minifig is able to hold it like this, and it's got like 2 blades out here, and it's got this copperish, orangish look to it, and I just really like it. It can fit on any minifig, and it looks like a cool gauntlet type piece. So I like that. And one other thing I love is that they included hair in this one. Not only the masks, but the hair. So that, in case you wanted to play around with the ninjas with their masks and without it, then that is super cool because I love that. I love the fact that you can switch out the hair and the hats or the masks. So yeah, that's it for Kai. Let's go on to Nia. So here we have the water ninja, Nia, and she's sporting this Junior's blue for the mask and most of the body, but then she also has this gunmetal gray, which I think I was surprised when I saw they did that, but I think it actually goes really well with her whole costume. She's got one sword again, like Kai, and the whole black shoulder pads and black arms, same as Kai. And if you noticed on her armor, she's got this outlining of red, which I think really ties into the previous seasons, like in Skybound, where she had a mainly red costume. So I think that really looks good. And also you can see that she has her Water Ninja logo, which I think they just recently made. I forget if it was introduced in Skybound or whichever one it was. But yeah, so when you take off the mask, there's her. She's got an angry face, and I'm guessing that this is supposed to be her reaching her full potential or something. Like, I guess she's like all powered up or something. And I mean, again, this didn't happen in the show, which I'm sort of confused about, but I sort of like it. Yeah. And then she does get a double-sided face with her just with a smirk. So if you want to just play around with normal Nia, or if you want to have her all, I guess you could, do that. And so, yeah, this is really cool. And again, just like with Kai, she gets her hair, which I love. I love the hair and the helmets, how you can switch them up. It's awesome. Because I didn't have that hair before, but I had the Samurai X, and I was like, it was always frustrating because I didn't have the hair. So now that is super cool. So you don't have to get a ton of sets just to get the helmets and the hairs. But also, speaking of the Samurai X in the LEGO Dimensions pack, which I got, personally, I think it has a little bit better of an expression. So if you wanted to put that on Nia, I think that looks a little bit more Nia-like. I mean, who knows? I don't know. This is just my opinion, but I think this looks slightly better for Nia than that head. But yeah, I mean, then again, it does have like this robotic-y kind of face on the back, but you probably wouldn't use that face. Anyway, on to the two Serpentine or Vermillion people, which they sort of joked out, like Jay in the show, he was joking like how silly of a name Vermillion is, but personally I think it's a sort of cool name. So we have Slackjaw and General I forget, I don't know, I'll probably like put in parentheses like right here, but anyway, it is really cool. These are really cool. What? That's not the right weapon. That took way too long. And I still didn't find it. Anyway, that took way too long. I tried to find the right piece, but I still didn't find it. It was, it attached onto this. It was sort of like a axe type piece, and it had like a snake come through it. I think I'll put the picture right there. Alright, so it looked like that, and I can't find it right now, but it's a really cool axe. It's probably what makes this character like way more cool. But this guy's cool anyway. He's got this really cool helmet, which is more like they use it a lot more than I thought they would in the show. Like the Time Twins actually had it like back in the day or something, like these helmets. So I thought these were just going to be sort of the grunt helmets, but they were more significant than I thought. And they've got these cool armor with snakes weaving around. It's super cool. And on the back, you've got some more snakes. The snake is actually going like, rah! And so, yeah. Now let's move on to the other Vermillion guy. What's his name?
Isn't it Ragmonk?
Oh yeah, it's Ragmonk. Yeah, General Ragmonk, I think.
Fact check that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
It is
but
Ragmonk, yes.
Yeah. Yes, it's General Ragmonk. So I really like this minifigure. He's got like this darker orange color.
It's a Commander Ragmonk.
Commander Ragmonk, whatever. So I really like this figure. He's got like a sort of a darker orange throughout the entire guy. And this arm, I like it because it's silver and like it's not completely consistent. So I like that. And this sword is also really interesting because it is a new mold for the end of a sword. It's just attached onto this lightsaber handle, and it looks all cool and vermilion-y and stab, stab. Yeah, and the back printing is just like more armor and snakes weaving around, so I won't bother taking off the armor. But yeah, the armor is really cool. It's let me take off the helmet first. See, it just goes right up to his neck, and it just weaves around, and it's like chainmail sort of. And I think it's really cool with this stud on the back, and like it just looks really cool. And the helmet, this helmet is also cool. It doesn't go completely around him, like it stops just at the cheekbones or something, like around the cheekbones, but it fits perfectly on this armor piece. And what I also found out was that if you take the Slackjaw's helmet, you can put it on this and it'll fit on there with ease. It fits there perfectly. So if you wanted to mix around some snake pieces, then you can do that. Okay, now on to the I don't know if I should say the main two figures, but they're close to the main two. There's Rey and Maya, and these are Kai and Nia's parents, which they're first revealed in this season. No, I mean they weren't, like, they were first shown.
Well, they were shown back in
Yeah, the
right?
No, Skybound.
No, they showed it in the flashback scene where they were fighting the Anachondri.
Oh yeah, no, but they didn't show him. Oh yeah, they did show Maya. Whatever. Okay, so this is the first time.
Seeing them in the
this is the first time we're actually seeing him in the show. Like,
or kind of, yeah.
And
in
no,
action.
well, and as a minifigure. No, alright, just say.
Day.
Okay, this is the first time we're seeing them as minifigures / in present day with the ninja. So yeah, Rey is super cool. He's got this sleepy boy hair. He's like in black, and he's got this really cool old Chinese guy mustache, and which I really like, which could be used for some mocks or like sig figs or something. And he's got these blacksmith robes. They're like leathery, and it's got a dragon logo. Not entirely sure if he custom designed that, because, like, is it just a coincidence that I guess it's the Dragon's Forge. Never mind. I get it now. That's cool. But he has another face which is his scared face when he's captured by the Vermillion. No spoiler alert. Ha ha ha. And he's got these handcuffs which lend to that face. And we have Maya, which is their mother, and this hair hasn't been used in a while. It was Elizabeth from the Pirates of the Caribbean line of sets. But this is in a new color, is in black. I don't think it's been shown or seen in black before.
Oh, it's not very regularly.
Yeah, it might have been like a collectible minifigure or something. I don't know. But yeah, she's got like this sand bluish type body and some cool printing. But yeah, she also has another expression, which is scared, like when she's being captured by the Vermillion. And so yeah, that's a really cool fig. I had to zoom way far out to get this into the frame. But this is the Fusion Dragon, which is a mix of fire and water in the show. It's when they went into the I forget where it was. I think it was like this temple or something to get the fusion blade and unlock their whatever. It was some sort of ritual thing. I forget. But yeah, they ended up unlocking their fusion dragon by having like shooting their elements at the fusion blade. But and this actually isn't the first fusion dragon to appear in Ninjago. The first one was in Skybound when Jay and Nia combined to make the water and electricity dragon, but they didn't. Yeah, they actually did.
Oh, that's cool.
But it wasn't like they didn't need a blade for it, which I was like, why do you need a blade for this fusion dragon and not for the other one? But whatever. This is really cool build. It's got a ton of these Nexonite shield pieces, which I love getting because I'm not that into the Nexonite line, but I love these pieces. It's got them like all over, and you got these, like, each side is unique, so it's not a very tedious build. I mean, it partially is because there's the same structure, but it's got different unique color schemes for each side, so it's like half fire, half water. And what I really love about this build is the middle of it, because see, it's like that's the fire side and that's the water side, but then the fire side sort of weaves around and up again, and then it goes to the opposite side in the end at the tail, and then the water side goes and then ends up here. So I think that's a really cool way of representing the whole fusionness. On the bottom there's this piece. It's got one of these inverted tile things, which I didn't know came out or were a thing until I think it was Skybound, either Skybound or some other Ninjago theme. But yeah, these are really cool and they're really useful for other things, but this is to fit onto the chimney of the dragon's forge, which you can do. And if you wanted to stand this dragon up, I mean, it's a little bit tough. Like, it doesn't really want to stand up on its own, but yeah, you can get it. Whoa, that leg is not. I guess you can get it to stand up if you want, but it's not the most stable dragon. I guess it's meant for this. And yeah, it's got the ninja's logos on the wings, and it's a really cool dragon. The next part of the build that we have is the Vermillion. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, this is a interesting build. It has these Hulk arms, but in red. Or you can just say Red Hulk arms because the set has already come out with Red Hulk. But it's only got the arm part, it doesn't have the hand, because they use these tentacle-y stuff for the hands to make it seem more snake-like. And so you can spin those around. Sort of fun. And yeah, it's very bulky and metallized or metallicized.
Metallic.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of armor and stuff, and it looks like a cool snake. And this also goes with Garmadon's helmet piece from the Stone Army wave, or the crab arms. It actually looks like crab arms. But yeah, it goes with these really cool snake head pieces, which they only have these clips, or these sticks that you just stick it into something, and it makes it look like a snake head is sticking out. So I really like that piece. And yeah, it's a fairly basic build, but it's from the outside of the building, I love it because it looks super cartoonish, but also Chinese-ish, and like it looks super cool. So it's got these circular doorways, which I think complete this set. And oh, thank you. There's a rug that goes inside. I'll get to that later. But there's these beams which are positioned at an angle, and it's really cool the way they built it, and I think that adds a lot to the aspect of it all, like the
character.
Yeah, the character. And then it's got these statues, which I haven't seen these pieces in a long time. I mean, I haven't gotten one of these since I think it was like Lego Games.
Back in 2008.
Yeah, that was a good theme. But yeah, they're just in this stone color, and then there's these stairways up with these up into the center, the inside of it, with these swords crossing each other, which I love the way they did that. And one with a water type cheese slope and a fire cheese slope. And yeah, so now let's get into the inside of it. So this thing opens up, and it opens up really well. Oh, there's a lot of snakes. I forgot to mention it goes with 4 of these snake pieces. Just these plain, ordinary snake pieces. Yeah. So the inside of this is really cool. It's packed with details and little play features. And so the first one I want to talk about is these stairs. They lift up, and then inside you can slide out this compartment which holds the fusion blade. And that's a significant part of how the fusion dragon exists. And so in the show they talk more about that. But the fusion blade is super cool, and you can just slide it right back in there, and it's a cool way to, like, a cool play feature. And so you can pop that back in, and like another really cool feature is that they're these simple little builds. Wait, So they're these simple little builds on these of hammers on these anvils, and each one you can just go like, you can thwick it. I don't know if thwick is a word. You can do it on both sides. So it's really addictive. Anyway, it's really fun to, like, you know. When I was building this, I almost didn't build the rest of it because I was like going like this the whole time. It's super fun. Anyway, there's a ton of weapons back here. Like, they're all really unique. Like, some of these are really unique. Like, there's this saw sword and this like spiked axe thingy. I don't know what it is. And there's some other ones over there. But yeah, it goes with a ton of weapons. Plus, this really cool, if you guys remember from the Lord of the Rings line, when that first began, there was a Uruk-hai sword, and they recolored this in a coppery orange, and so it looks like they heated it up, and you can, like, bang it into shape. And so yeah, all the weapons are really cool and super unique. I mean, except for this axe, but it's a plain axe. But whatever. On this side, we have a grindstone. You can just, there's a wheel thing, or a crank, that you can grind or sharpen your swords. And then this chest, or I think it's a stool. Yeah, it's a bench. And you pop this lid off, and it does have a sticker, which I'm not too happy about, but you know, what can you do? And once you pop that off, there is a card in there. It's it's one of those Spinjitzu cards from the first wave of Ninjago. They did these cards with each Spinjitzu spinner, and this one has the Samurai X, which I think is a really cool throwback to that old thing, because I was so into Ninjago at the time, and I was really into the spinners. I actually have the J spinner and the Garmadon spinner, which were like my favorite. So yeah, and over here you have a teapot, which, I mean, it's the first teapot I've gotten, but I don't know if I think it's been in some other sets, probably Disney princess sets, but it's in this set. It serves as a really cool Sensei Wu type teapot, and it's got these mats. I'm not exactly sure why they had them with holes in them. They're the circle tiles with the holes. They could have just had them the circle ones, the filled in one, but because it makes more sense to be filled in, but whatever. I'm fine with it. If I can get this open. There we go. So in this oven, I guess it's an oven or cabinet, that you've got these sushis on a tray. It's a brown tray. I think it's really cool because the sushi pieces are just the best. Yeah. So, and also on the wall there is a Chinese logo, or I think it's a letter or something. Oh yeah, they're
Chinese symbols.
Yeah, Chinese Zukin symbols, and like they're on either side, and so that's a cool touch that they added. And also, so if you notice that there's a fireplace, and it's got this thingy at the top, and it's sort of off-center, and it's actually, I mean, right now it's off-center because we didn't align it right, and you can actually turn this around, and it's got like a ton of different sides on it. I'll have to show you. There's a gear on the back that if you turn it, then the fire flickers, sorta, and it turns these gears, and you can see all of the different patterns or paintings all around the thing, which is super cool. And if you do it super fast, then just look at the fire, like it just is sort of more fire-like. But yeah, it's a cool addition. And if you didn't want to get back there and do that, to make it a little more fun, you can take the fusion blade and you can stick it into this what's it called? A peg, I think. Yeah, this peg, and then you can turn it, and it turns the fireplace. So that's a cool addition that they did. I'm not entirely sure if that was planned, but it is a really cool addition. So, from the back of the model, it looks really bland and boring. Like, see, there's some Technic beams, there's like a bunch of Technic stuff, and the coloring isn't great, but like, it's not meant to be, whoo, that piece was off. It's not meant to be shown from the back, which it did a great job from showing it from the front. So I understand that. But it also has this weird tree thing popping out of the back. I mean, I guess you can see it from the front, but like, it's more visible from the back, and it's not the most impressive tree. It's like sort of just 3 pieces. It's not that great, but you know, it's fine. So as I mentioned before, with the fusion dragon, it had that piece on the bottom, and I said that it was able to attach onto the chimney. And so here's how it works. Like, you take this piece and you slap it right there. And so it sort of rests there. It doesn't really stick that well. I mean, yeah. And I guess you can have the dragon holding onto the roof. I mean, it's just sort of flopped there. It doesn't look the greatest on top of that, I mean, it would have looked cooler if the legs were able to clutch around the chimney and have more of a perch. But, you know, I think it's a cool enough play feature. I forgot again. I forgot to put this mat in there. But anyway, it's sort of like just a crocheted rug. It's got, I'm not exactly sure what this is. It's like, it looks like either a burn mark or blood, or I don't know what it is. I mean, it wasn't explained in the show. I mean, I might have missed that part, but whatever. Yeah. Overall, this is a really good set. Like, it's got great designs, and it's a really good set. I'd recommend this set, like, to, if you're a Ninjago fan, I highly recommend it. And the main reason why we got this set is because it's got like the craziest price per piece. Like, normally most sets, they like, for say a $10 set usually goes with 100 pieces. For like a $50 set, it would go with 500 pieces, and like so on. So it's like 10 cents per piece. So this one, we got it for, I think it was $80, but, and so it should have been 800 pieces, but it went with, what was it, 1,200 some pieces?
Let me check.
Alright.
1,137.
Oh, yeah, it went with 1,137 pieces. So that's like a crazy good deal. So we got like 300 more pieces than it should have been worth. So I think that is one major reason why this is a great set. So thank you guys so much for putting up with me and my reviews, and see you next time. Bye.